Hello there everybody, this is Graham, also known as the Eclipse 75, and welcome to part 17 of my Marvel UK Transformers Generation 1 comics review. I did say I would get rid of that long title, but I never have, and I'll keep changing it a little bit. Anyway, it's been quite a while since I'd done part 16, probably almost, in fact, nearly 10 months in fact. I know it wasn't that long ago since I uploaded it, but it was a long time ago since I recorded it. I mean, today's date is the 9th of August 2012. So anyway, let's get on with the review. As you can see, this one is number 152, dated 13th of February 1988. And as you can see, it's got a great cover with Galvatron and the Seacons. And this was, I believe, a story to introduce the Seacons to us UK readers. I can't remember if they'd turned up in the US strip that was being reprinted at the time, but I believe this is our first introduction to them. As you can see, it's got the Seacon teams to be won. Anyway, so we open it up, and this is a UK story, obviously, like I just said. We've got the transformation page with fishing for prizes. I believe it's just letting us know about the Seacons and everything like that, and it says we've got no less than 25 complete Seacon teams on offer, and a farewell to arms. This week's Action Force number 50 is the last issue of this story, but soon will be Action Force Monthly. I never got Action Force, it wasn't really my thing really. Still never mind. Let's concentrate on this story now. This is a clever little story where Galvatron, also residing in our time zone, is going to attempt to, what's the word I'm saying, usurp Shockwave as current Decepticon leader, and he's going to do this very, very subtly. As you can see, Shockwave knows that Galvatron is on his way, and so instead preempts the use of the Seacons to stop him, really. As you can see, he's not too happy about it. This one is called Enemy Action, and so now he knows that he's got to do something, so he throws the Seacons, as you can see in Galvatron's way here, and Galvatron just easily dispatched them. He actually quite just laughs at them, really. Nice little advert there for the Target Masters. As we go on, as you can see, Galvatron managed to beat them all up. Snapchat can't believe it. They're being beaten so easy, so they do combine into Piranacon, which, to be honest, is probably just about life-size toy-wise anyway. Galvatron looks at it because he knows he's going to beat him anyway. But as you can see, meanwhile, off a stretch of nearby coastline, we can see the God blimey, what are they called? Oh dear, bloody hell, Sizzle, Fizzle and Guzzle. I know that. I can't think for the life of me what their subgroup is called now. Anyway, the Sparkler Minibots. There we go. So they're waiting on the edge to keep there because they're monitoring Galvatron, as it turns out, ever since he freed himself from the volcano that he was embedded in. They're reporting back to Springer because obviously Springer is now the leader of the Wreckers, and they're going to try and sort Galvatron out because they know he's a problem. This is where Piranacon is going to face off against Galvatron there, and as you can see, he rushes off, managed to beat him up in the end. But just as the Sparkler Minibots realise something's going on down there, they have trouble of their own when the Firecons turn up. And so it's continued next issue, and then here we have the competition for the Seacons, and I mean nice little Robo Capers there and Grimgrams. Reserve your copy now at your local newsagents. And we've got the backup strip of Iron Man. Again, never into Iron Man. Great picture that. I love that picture. That is a great picture. And also, as you can see, next week we're going to have Transformers and Action Force, I do believe. If I can pick up the next issue. Here we go. There we are. And now this is the thing that UK comics used to do, is that if one comic was failing, much as Action Force, obviously the sales were dwindling a little bit, the stronger comic would absorb the weaker one, thus creating more sales. Comics back then used to do it all the time. I realised this when I used to read the history of 2000 AD, and 2000 AD used to do it all the time. You'd get one hit comic, they'd release a clone, and then basically they'd wait to see which one, after 6 months, which one had the stronger sales, and then they would cancel the lesser one, and then it would say being absorbed into the stronger one, creating more sales. It's quite a clever way, and that's what I used to do all the time. I always wish though Transformers would have incorporated Zoids, but obviously they were owned by two different toy companies. They probably didn't want that. So anyway, here we go. We continue the story. Really, there's a nice picture of Cindersaw there. As you can see, the Firecons are doing what they do best, and they're incinerating just about everything in their path while they try and basically cook the Sparkler Minibots, saying they've come from Cybertron and they want Galvatron on their side. So here we go. And I do live this. Oh, look at those Autobots run. Don't they realise how soothing a nice flame bath is? Here, try one. I love that. And you see him fry him and then he falls into the water. Absolutely brilliant. Meanwhile, Galvatron is still dispatching Piranacon and everything, and Shockwave knows that nothing can stop him. Surrendering, he eventually destroys the Seacons. Well, I'd say destroys them, you know, no one ever dies really in these comics. The Sparkler Minibots still fight the Seacons, the Firecons. Meanwhile, they transform and dispatch them. Shockwave bursts in on Shockwave and he says, well, I wasn't coming here to usurp you, I was actually coming here for a truce. And Shockwave can't believe it because he knows he's been used, and Galvatron knows that he's done the right thing by pretending to offer a truce when really he was going to usurp him. But he knew Shockwave would do that, thus alienating his own troops against Shockwave. Quite clever. And then he comes up on the beach where the Sparkler Minibots are fighting the Firecons, and the Firecons basically offer him a deal, saying they want him to side with their masters on Cybertron. And he says, ha ha ha, I haven't skillfully avoided one alliance just to form another. Tell your masters Galvatron is no one's servant, and you see, because the Flamethrower's not too happy about it. And the Sparkler Minibot says, well, we're still going to have to stop you anyway, and he just smacks him away. Meanwhile, Shockwave thinks, well, I need an dispensable agent I can send against him, and he knows that he's got one there with Megatron. Right, so that's the end of this story, and we got a nice advert for the Ghostbusters comic. More Grimgrams and Action Force in introduction, because obviously this is the new backup strip. A nice picture there, probably done by Jeff Senior. He's done some brilliant artwork. And then we have the Action Force. This looks like an American story. Oh, if I can turn the pages, here we go. And then we've got next week Throttlebots, the final transformation. I believe that is a US strip coming up. Let's move quickly on. So here we have the American strip, which is Toy Soldiers. It looks like there's something that's been taken out there, I don't know what, because obviously this is an American reprint. And we're going to say, look who's in who, yes. We've got Death's Head, that does guest appear in the Doctor Who magazine. I can't remember in this story. The American ones by this point were losing their way a little. We've got the Constructicons there, and Blitzwing obviously doing something or other. And we've got the Throttlebots and some American people. Didn't really grip my interest, that storyline, if I'm honest. I think this is where the Throttlebots get totaled anyway. But this American black guy there, I think, manages to save their consciousness or some sort of microchips in them into 6 toy cars, which do come into play a bit later on. Here we go, you can see it's taken out certain elements of their consciousness out of their robot bodies and then transferring it into a little battery toy car. I don't know where he gained the skill to do that, but obviously, you know, it helps, I suppose. Anyway, as it goes on, it was a bit of a silly storyline, but he's going to enlist the help of Buster and Sparkplug, or is it Spike? I can't remember. Do you know what? Really sort of lost me, the American strip, by then, which was a shame because it started off so well. I loved it back when it first started. Anyway, we've got Grimgrams, an advert for Action Force there with a nice little plane, and we're continuing with the American strip. And we've got Mayhem at the Mall for next week, and Combat Colin. I believe now then, Robo Capers did stop up an issue or two again. I should have mentioned that, but I completely forgot. And now we've got the new backup strip, Combat Colin. I hated it at the start, but by the time Combat Colin finished in probably one of the last issues of Transformers, I absolutely loved Combat Colin. I thought it was really, really funny. And some of the parodies they did, especially the one where I believe he goes to the village, which is out of the prisoner. I did think that was a good storyline. Anyway, so then we continue with issue number 155, still at 32 pence. And also still has the American currency on there. Though where American readers were supposed to pick this comic up, no one seemed to know. Alright, we continue here with Toy Soldiers. I believe the Predacons has been dispatched to try and hunt down the Throttlebots for some reason. I don't know why. We've got Rat back there doing something. And eventually they find out that the Throttlebots weren't destroyed. I think they had to destroy them, like the Decepticons had given them an ultimatum to destroy them or something. I can't remember, or they would have gone on the rampage, who knows. But anyway, they do find out that I would say they're Spark, but we didn't have Sparks back then. But we've been transferring those little toys, and as you can see, they're going to run amok in this little mall, and the Predacons are going to try and get them. Oh dear. Anyway, it says Goldbug is finished wrestling, and so are you. So Buster, or is it Spike? I can't remember which one it is in the storyline. Has been captured by the Decepticons at the end of this story. Anyway, we've got more Grimgrams, Jawbreakers, and the buried treasure there. I've obviously cut out something here. Probably, oh yeah, it was an A to Z. Got them somewhere, still probably up in my mum's loft. There we go. And we've got Headmasters on Earth for the next issue, which we're going to come to right now. Number 156. I like it how it has different bits from the, I believe there were previous comics. I don't know if it was the Headmasters series or not, but then we got a nice picture of Hardhead there. And this is the first time the Headmasters do appear in the mainstream comics continuity after their 4-issue limited series, because these are obviously American reprints. I can't remember too much on the storyline here, but obviously it's just the Headmasters heading towards Earth after they've detected a SOS, I believe from Goldbug now, which he's going to do now, as you can see. And I believe this is where they invent Cerebros, so that Galen there, whatever his name is, can transform into the head of Cerebros and then transforms into the head of Fortress Maximus, much like the toy. And they head there, they find where the Ark used to be, and they find just a load of old technology. And they find Goldbug with a human, and I believe they do actually give him a new body. I think they can't believe it because they don't know what is this. It's an earthen shit. Anyway, Grimgrams, more Action Force. Again, not big on Action Force. I wish I had, but never really gripped me. I'm more of a robots and stuff, mate. There's more Combat Colin. There's a nice picture of Shockwave. Not Shockwave, Scorponok even. Alright, so then we come to number 157. Nice picture there. Oh, that cover's been used a few times on various specials and stuff. And we've got Trial by Fire Part 2. I believe this is on the transformation page. Who Are You Gonna Call is the Real Ghostbusters comic, I believe, is now out now. Again, I always wanted to sort of get into that. I love the films, but I could never get into the... Kind weren't bad, but I think I was probably just getting a tad old, and as much as I didn't mind watching it, I never went out of my way to watch it. Anyway, got more of the Headmasters here. The Headmasters now, again, follow Fortress Maximus as usual storylines in the Americans one seem to do. And then just a bit of a battle between them and stuff, as usual, happened really. Unfortunately, this is where I really did lose a bit of heart with the American strip. It was a bit dull, if I'm honest with you. In no way am I being condescending or horrible in that fact. I just did find it a little bit dull. And that's probably why a lot of people didn't really like the comic back then. If it wasn't for the UK stories, I know I would never have probably continued buying it, to be honest with you. Which is a shame. But still, they were okay. Not too bad stories. But anyway, there we go. I do believe Galen has just died, or Scorponok's just killed him there. And they've gone, look, and perhaps a fitting welcome to our new leader. Me? Are you talking about me? That's Spike there. I don't know why they would want this bloke they've only just met to be their leader, but there we go. That's Hasbro marketing for you. And we've got more Grimgrams, Headmasters, Action Force, Serpentor. There we go. Let's get through this one. And then we've got the Hostage, and more known codename Combat Colin. That did drop eventually and just became Combat Colin. There was an advert there for the Real Ghostbusters comic, which I don't have any issues, just in case anybody out there that wants me to review that one. I would like to get all the issues of Zoids, actually. I've got about half of them, I think, and I would like to get all of them one day and then sort of like review them. That would be pretty cool, but I don't know whether I'm going to be able to get them or not. There we go, nice little picture there of Shockwave. This is art by Dan Reed, I believe. I was never a fan of Dan Reed's art. There we go, you can see Spike on this desert island. And then Shockwave gives him some food there. This is a desert island posing, well, it's a Decepticon base posing as a desert island. And while they've got Spike on there, they know the humans won't attack them. As you can see, they've got offshore battleships keeping an eye on them, but they know they can't do nothing while he's there. And that's about it. Not much else happens. There's Spike revealing that he's now the new head for Fortress Maximus. And that's it really, and they're going to sort out the Decepticons. We have a free bonus Visionaries comic. Could never get into the Visionaries. I always found it a bit strange really. But, you know, saying that, I suppose it's whatever floats your boat, and if you like that sort of thing, you like that sort of thing. After all, I like Transformers. Anyway, Action Force Serpentor. And again, I cut out an A to Z there. Now, the next issue, I do believe, features the last appearance of Shockwave in the comics. This is where he was supposed to die. Well, he died in the US continuity, but for us UK people, he came out in about the next issue or two. This is the end of that story. This is Desert Island of Space, Part 2, and just features the Headmasters. Basically going after their base, as you can see there. So we've got a desert island on the top and the base underneath, which is going to blast off into space at any moment now. There he goes. Followed by Fortress Maximus, because he wants to rescue his brother Buster. As you can see, but it defenses, it cripples Fortress Maximus, but then transforms into Cerebros, and so Shockwave goes after him, but is then crippled himself by Fortress Maximus, and he falls back to Earth. You can just about see that. I don't know if it's going to make it out too much, but it's only logical that I fall to Earth. I believe in the American one it says they've redone this, and it says that I burn up in the atmosphere, but he doesn't. He's back next issue. And there you go. Welcome aboard, Autobot. And that's just about it. Really, nothing much there. They've just recognised him as a leader of them Headmaster Autobots. More Grimgrams. Serpentor. And just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, we've got Transformers 160 with the next UK story. Right, I'm going to wrap this up here just because my battery's going. I was going to do 2 more issues, but we'll do them in the next part. Bye for now.